We're not on top of the roof at the Bellagio.
Of the Bellagio, the famous roof.
Politely asking security to let people through, but security not to bother with us.
Yeah. I think everybody knows that's where they filmed the Ocean's 11 film. I mean, you can tell that Paris.
Well, that's why Kevin put us right there, is
Yeah.
because it was right from the scene where Don Cheadle, who played Basher, was standing when he pushed the button on the pinch from, well, it was the mock-up for Caltech that they allegedly took it from.
Mm-hmm.
But he mentioned that there was some problem with the sound out there, and some difficulty hearing you, and you had some difficulty hearing me, and you didn't want
Microphones.
Microphones.
I've had enough of them for a long time.
I've almost
become inured to them.
Well, it's all no. It's like I kind of feel like with that sort of thing, kind of like the mule with the sandbags being put on it. After a while, the mule just stands there. Yeah, there's a little more slumping as the time goes by.
The legs go straight out to either side.
And the back starts. But in case they didn't hear, I know he's running. In case they didn't hear, you were mentioning about the future and what sort of
Well, yeah, we've got some upcoming ideas.
timber
Stuff that's going to be falling fast and kind of into the new year as it's starting to fall. Now we're getting ready to do some new things, especially with Eagles. I'm working with them to try to reorganize it and repurpose it, actually, because
My nose is still running from the cold.
Do you want a tissue?
Please.
Hold on. Let me grab one.
I thought I had.
I think I've got one.
Well, I do. I have them in a.
Do you?
I have them in the coat. They do me a great.
I have a few
They
somewhere.
do me a great service. Here.
Well, here, it's going to have to be this.
Thank you, because and my nose is still running from the cold.
Cold always affects
Well,
you.
if he's going to be putting this kind of stuff out, people are going to get what they get. We're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking at this. It has the 7 years, 7 months problem. Would hypothetically go back 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
That would place it, what, in the latter portion of 2005.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And then know that an infrastructure needs to be built for something. And then we were working together mostly. I mean, you're doing most of the finances and all of that now and overlooking that side of the operation.
Yeah.
We were working together. Of course, this was, I've got to be, we have to be.
Kind of circumspect about those years and certain things.
But if it's a monumental problem that needs to be worked through, we are better off and faster at solving the problem if we're working together.
Right.
And we have worked problems like that.
Well, yes.
And some of the larger ones took 7 months to actually get the wheels moving on the train.
Mm-hmm.
All right? In this case, you're off doing other things. You're here, but you're off doing other things.
This is true.
And I am left with an aide-de-camp and people that I'm not willing to hire. And God bless Ayanna, but she's an aide-de-camp, she's a security person, and we're dealing in this situation now with a highly political and what could be a rather dangerous potential situation.
What I've got
for us
in mind,
personally.
it is going to be dangerous for us.
Well, I think you have in mind approximately what I have in mind, because we're chatting about it here and there.
Yeah.
But
the people.
you know, I'm going to do the best I
Gonna
can
kind
to have this infrastructure built in where you stay and others are immediately around us.
Right.
Stay safe.
Well, basically, the cats that I was planning to let out of the bag.
I ask you, that's a terrible.
It's a terrible.
So I said, the cat out of the bag.
Bag.
Why would the cat be put in the bag in the first place? This is offensive to
Oh,
cats.
it's
You say
kind
the
of
dog out of the bag. How would you like that?
Dog out of the bag.
Let the dog out
Well,
of the
there was
bag.
just something about a cat in a bag. There's this movement constantly. The bag is constantly going in all different directions. I don't know where the thing came from. I think. Well,
Okay,
actually,
moving along
I
after
think
a
I
cat out.
actually.
That's terrible.
Actually, I think I know where it came from, but it's an even more horrible
Did
actuality.
one of those little kids that you beat in the water pistol
What water pistol?
teach you about that?
No, I just like to go
He
play
was
water
filming.
pistol.
You know how I know he was filming?
No.
He handed the camera to me and I was the one that actually did the filming.
No, I just like to play the water pistols.
I thought so. Well, she was right. It filled and it did expand.
Oh my god, I gotta try some I want to see
Yeah, yeah.
Pistols.
I thought you saw the camera over to your right, but you were too
Oh, I was
too
intent.
interested in taking the stuffed toy.
I wanted the stuffed fish.
Yes, I know.
I wanted that fish.
I know.
She showed us the fish, and I said,
You
I
got
want
the fish, yes,
wanted the
I'm
fish.
well aware. I've been
Fish.
filming you on and off at the Midway now. I know the people don't know this, but I've been filming you on and off at the Midway now for 18, 20 years.
It's been, yeah.
Pretty much laying in wait for, would it be lying in wait?
I've shot.
Lying in wait.
I have shot
For,
with entire full complement of people
No, but I see you
competing.
lie in wait for the numbers to dwindle down to nothing.
It's always
And then
easier to
you
win
come
when
up,
there's
yes,
fewer.
and you come up and you kind of hang there, and then usually because of the density of the population in the Midway, it's a kid.
Sure.
And so then you end up again in this match race.
The match
and
race.
and I've seen, what do you mean there's nothing wrong? I have seen little girls swing at you.
Yeah, and.
See, I got the fish
Yeah, I
or
got
whatever.
the fish, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
One took a real swing at me.
You have a real thing with this, but I'll continue to.
I just enjoy
Oh, he handed it to me.
my
I went like this to him because I'm used to filming you doing that. And I thought, well, I've been part of this tragedy now for the last generation.
Tragedy. Well, there was the year that I got like 35 or 40 stuffed animals.
And you're hauling them around in a bag around the kids, and yes, I know.
But then I did give the toys away.
You did.
I did. I gave
You
them to
did.
a family,
You
a
did.
needy family.
You did.
And
I mean, I'm joking. And
I
you
know.
know,
The kids had a great
there are
Christmas.
going to be individuals. I mean, I'm joking. And
I
you
know.
know,
The kids had a great
there are
Christmas.
going to be individuals out there who. I was joking, even on camera. I don't think you heard, but I said it was my perspective that because time stopped yesterday.
Oh, no, joking. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's coming this one rather. That because time stopped yesterday, that the water would flow into the balloon, but the balloon would not
never
expand.
Expanded. Right.
Causing the conundrum or
Of
paradox.
course. Yes, there was a
It's a
vampire.
joke. I mean,
It was like vampire asteroids
look,
and
there are-
planet Nibiru and zombie planets were supposed to hit us.
Jupiter, yeah. Never.
Did you see the cover? Some cover of something I was looking at.
Oh, what now?
No, it was funny. It was a piece of artwork. It was on the cover of something. I can't even remember.
I like the Mayan weather report.
That was great.
For Thursday, mostly sunny, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's from CBS News. And they said Friday, volcanoes and asteroids.
Yeah.
And they said Sunday,
Mostly sunny,
or
partly
Saturday, partly sunny,
Sunny.
temperature 70-some.
Yeah. In other words, everybody that figured they were going to get out of paying their rent and paying their bills and paying the utility company and everything. I'm sorry, but the bills and the rent and the rest of it, it's all still due next month.
Well, we can't refer to certain, absolutely. We can't refer to certain things, but there is an old adage. There is an old adage that says, I believe it would be called an adage, it may be under a different classification, but it says no free lunches.
Right. Yes.
Of course, that's never been heard from
Ever before. From us. Would I have a napkin?
No, of course you can.
Thank you. Being a slob. Thank you.
I believe it's not the one that I used on my mouth.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Anyway. No, this is.
Okay, good.
Honest. Where's the queen?
Where's the queen? Where's the queen?
But there's a.
This is still freaking me out.
There are some that what?
When it's just this is still so.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's so weird because when I have callers on, it's just so strange.
Well, okay. Well, what it might be? It's your. Is it right here?
Yeah.
That's your drain port.
The drain port that came out.
Yeah. Your actual incisions here to here. This is the drain
That's
port.
what's bugging me.
It's the drain port.
It's that little triangular
Yep.
thing. Yeah. Okay. Because there was that whole drainage thing that they had in
And
there.
put something on it to try to
Yeah, I
inhibit
have to,
sensation.
That's really bizarre.
Just inhibit the sensation of it. Okay.
All right.
But there are those individuals who are they're absolutely not going to get the jokes in between. And the good thing is that we now know a certain demographic. I'm talking about a step right up for the next.
Yeah. The next disaster. The next.
Well, people who want catastrophe and disaster
crisis.
are not mentally stable. To start
No,
with. They have
they-
unfulfilled needs that they're not appropriately processing. I think we know that though, but I'm going to joke
They'll just
along.
kick the can down the road. And what frightens me is that
We got to be
some people will believe
careful. Yeah, they
in
will.
whatever they say next. That's what gets me.
One person on the forum, I want to identify the person I'm talking about on the Golden Thread, regularly says some people's children. We can't raise them or re-raise them unless we're setting a card game, and if they really want to put their money up,
Check raise.
please do.
Yeah, check raise.
But we can't raise them. We can't teach them the bifurcation of serious conversation and humor.
No.
Some of it happened in our past, where I walked off from the stage and did some joking.
Yeah.
And then in another occasion, I walked off the stage and there was no joking at all. Now, there are those individuals that are actually unable to discriminate between the two.
Yeah.
And they're not being approached by us for positions, obviously, but
No, exactly.
I want to be nice. But, things are as they are. There is a mean, an average, intelligence. There's a mean, and some are high.
I think it's shifting
Some
myself.
are-
I think it's just weirdness right now.
Going bimodal, or
I'm seeing some real strangeness. Just looking at people, just watching the public and watching
Well.
people interacting. I'm seeing things that I wouldn't have expected. But
Well, one can as was said by another person, I believe, on our team, one can, I don't want to identify him, on, well, this is rolling because Kevin's bound to put anything out, but one can maybe have an idea that one would break one's ankle somewhere and then twist it in another, be shot in one place and just simply pass out in another. And bump one's head. And of course, both of those turns, if you will, of the wheel, both of those turns are to the benefit of the person, if you want to think about it.
That's true.
A twist is better than a break. A bump is better than a shot. So, and God bless those people. And God help them. And God help them.
But as to the cat out of the bag, really is.
You're still using that.
Not a lot of the
As long as it doesn't come through in the official paperwork, because you know
cat
I'm
out
going to read.
of bag.
Remove cat from bag.
Remove
If
cat
I
from
write from
bag.
that, you're going to write it back and say that's what I.
Cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's time really to level out the playing field as best we possibly can. There's a lot of people who want and deserve the truth. A lot of very good people. And I'm not talking about the self-proclaimed elite of a certain small
Oh, give me a break. Yeah.
disenfranchised organization
please.
of people. I mean, there's very good people amongst those folks
Well,
who are just looking for the truth. And there's a whole ton of other people just looking for the truth. And we've got a chance, we've got our finger on the pulse of a lot of information that people really would like to know more firsthand from, instead of hearing rumors
my
and
intention,
speculations.
well, indeed, in the past, first of all, my intention is an actual policy intention, and the individuals from the public will end up benefiting.
Yes, they will.
As a result.
Absolutely.
Of that policy intention.
About
However,
bloody time.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. My feelings, though, for individuals, let me digress. Our statements, let's just say in the past, concerning the issue of the word conspiracy, when any particular label or subject would get brought up under the word conspiracy, any particular concern, have been wholly truthful.
That's right.
There are many conspiracies, the theories that are out there in the world that are just absolute garbage, they're bunk. What the public doesn't know is that we've painted smiles on our faces. I know you have. I have.
Yeah.
That many of the subjects that they're hearing in and around conspiracy groups, while they're wrong, the reality is actually much darker than the concocted conspiracy. The reality is actually much darker than the concocted conspiracy.
Yeah.
But I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's another one.
There's another
Cat out
good
of the
one.
bag, throwing the baby. I'm not. We've got more of these than you can shake a stick at. Seth.
Or as Seth would say, I never want to hear certain terms again, such as a whole nother one.
A whole nother. A whole nother.
A whole nother.
Meg, there's a granola bar in the cupboard and I want it. You can tell from the photograph his photograph.
I can see
It's a baby
Stewie.
that is
I swear,
clearly,
the
it's
the
clearly
baby
that
shot
bent little
was
child.
so sad. I can see Stewie.
But the realities are, the global reality is much darker. Individuals are even in the conspiracy field, because now you can imagine with the request through Frank, I'm getting compendia of what they're all saying. They're saying such things as there is a conspiracy to nuke. We're still going on with that, with the population reduction, massive population reduction. And bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Bull.
David.
David and
not our
not,
certain Davids. David, that whom we had the pleasure of meeting in Zurich, in the stairwell, where he looked at a group, and indicated that the contrast between we and a certain group of people, and he indicated that the majority in another group of people were just full of bullshit.
Exactly. And he was right.
And he was right.
We said he was right.
Yes.
We were honest with
Yes.
him. And that's the thing. We've got a lot of information.
And we don't want to hurt.
And
I don't want to hurt individuals
No.
of a kinder nature.
No, but by the same token,
But
people
reality is
do-
often not kind.
People really do have a right to know more than they know.
Well, they do, whether or not
honestly
it's disconcerting to one's senses or
Right.
sensibilities. It's disconcerting to my sensibilities on a daily basis, and I'm sure that it is yours. You're
And
looking at the flow of money.
Yeah, and the truth is the truth is the truth.
We have a lot of balls in the air that we're juggling.
Yes, but the thing is the truth is the truth. And
Yes.
people have got every right to it.
One could say that it transcends a space of anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I know.
terrible. I don't want. Well, I can't say that. I was going to say I don't want to cause trouble. In certain ways, I do.
Yeah, you do.
In certain places, there are reasons to cause trouble because other troubles are being caused.
Right.
And where I deem ultimately necessary, either by fiat or by vote, those troubles will come. But as I said earlier, they knew what they elected.
That's right.
I'm not saying who, I'm saying what.
What? You knew. Here's another one for you. They were not getting a pig and a poke.
A pig and a poke. That's a good one. Well, of course, that goes back to a joke I love from the Aladdin.
Pig and a poke.
Well, okay, when I was assigned to the Aladdin, that we
Yes,
can say.
for
And
sure.
and then thenceforth would it be employed
And then employed, I know.
by them, where I was this poor bicycle officer we were picking on it. And of course, it's a good humor on the shift and all of that, where we had a little Pumbaa character. I had the Pumbaa character, and I actually wrote a Z on the side of it because we would Z out or take an accounting of the cash in the register of the pool bar at a certain time of night. And often I would be just the guy sitting in the center of like the hub in a dispatch area or supervising, or there were nights that I actually went up to do that. And so it became something over the radio, Zing out the pool bore instead of pool bar. So we'd say pool bore. Well, then I brought this little Pumbaa character in, put a Z on the side of this Pumbaa, and began foul-mouthing. I know cameras are running right now, so I'm not going to say what I called this other officer. But the thing is I was using a phony voice. I was actually holding a toy up at this guy.
And using it
And he
phony
began
voice.
getting angry at the toy. Now this, of course, there may have been an undercurrent of why I was doing this, because this was also a man who was carrying a gun and riding on a bicycle and being alone with guests.
Yes.
So what did Heath Ledger say? It just takes a little
Sometimes just a little push.
Little push.
Gravity.
Gravity.
Sometimes just takes a little push.
I may have done a little push in that occasion, and I think the target of that push is aware of it. Became aware of it when he was terminated. But I used it as a funny thing, and it became funny amongst the group of people who were reasonably stable.
The stable and sane, and
Yeah, this character was carrying a gun, and he was on a bicycle, and he was in Southwest Guest parking at the time, and staring off into the distance at the moon.
Stable or
baying at the moon with a gun on his side.
With a gun. So it was in everybody's best interests to expose the situation, and
Yeah,
frankly,
he had a nice pistol.
going on about exposing the situations, that's actually what I'm thinking
Well,
about. Not like you were saying.
Well, we don't have an actual agenda
We
at
have
this
no
point.
agenda.
The
It's
infrastructure, like I said,
It's an idea.
7 years, 7 months.
Right.
And totally different circumstances, yet I see that the ultimate impact, the impactfulness of it, maybe is valuable.
I think it might.
Maybe is valuable. So there's going to be concern and care taken with this infrastructure to be built. The conspiracy issues such as the removal of this vast number of people, for instance. Most of the individuals out there are aware that we are facing off against a globalist, monetary-hugging, illuminist series of circles.
Yes. I think most people are aware to a certain
People.
extent.
Of people. I'm putting quotes
Yeah.
on that. I cannot afford, in this position, when dealing with that, to try to pretend to be a loving, Christ-like person toward those individuals while they slaughter others. That's just not going to happen. I'm going to do everything I can to oppose what they're doing. And those terms have already been sent and established, but the depopulation issue. Why would a pharaoh, now I'm not referring to any one person here, I'm referring symbolically, and I'm certainly not referring to us.
But symbolically.
Why would a pharaoh, an engineered system,
The man.
okay,
Why would the man?
the man, the engine, the machine,
Mm-hmm.
why would the pharaoh kill his slaves